Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday. It is hump day. It is 4:20. This is Back to the Window with Scott and Scott. I am your host, Scott Steehn, lead handicapper at winnersandwiners.com.
And I'm your co-host, Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over winnersandwiners.com.
And together we do this each and every day right here, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, as we do our very best to help you guys navigate those choppy waters and head back to the window. Let's smoke out some winners, Scott. Get it? Get it?
Yeah, happy 420.
420. There you go. I got one more. You ready? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Max Wagers Network. We'd really appreciate it.
Nice.
Thank you. I'll be here. I'll be here all week. Everybody, tip your servers.
Tip your damn waitress. Nice.
Hey, welcome to the show. It's good to be here. How'd your Tuesday go, buddy? Did you leave any money for the rest of us?
Oh yeah, it went well. Kept my winning streak alive. Had Steven Adams under 6.5 points. He played 3 minutes.
Outstanding.
Played the first 3 minutes. Did not play again, and Memphis won handily. So pretty much went exactly the way that I thought it would. I thought Adams would play closer to 10, but Jenkins realized Adams cannot play in this series. And because of that, basically had a rocking chair winner.
Very good. Tim Earl in the house. What up, Timmy? We just left your partner, Detroit Lenny, just mere minutes ago as we did Morning Wood with Lenny and Allie. That was fun. So check that out over on Picks and Parlays, Max Wagers Network, and all that stuff. And Scott, I probably ran my losing streak to nine plays of the day last night. Had the Minnesota Twins team total over 3.5. They had a guy thrown out at home plate. Benintendi dropped a fly ball that was about 6 inches in foul territory with 2 outs where the runner would have scored easily. What else? Oh, they had a guy that they were called out at first base. Looked like he was safe. They didn't even challenge it. Next batter tripled. No run there. So the weird thing is, Scott, over the time, same 9 games, same 9 days, I am 19-6 on my premium plays.
Okay.
So
I'm assuming you'd rather be bad at the free plays than the premiums?
Yeah, if
you had to pick between one or the two.
Yeah, yes, obviously that's true. However, having said that, 9 games in a row, that's ridiculous. I don't think I've ever been at any forum and picked 9 losers in a row. I wish I could do that consistently. Anybody that's
you just fade yourself.
Yeah, dude. If you've been doubling up every day on me, you can retire. Congratulations, you got it. David the Italian took the Adams under rebounds. What is this? There's a pun coming. I hemp they get a ton of hits. Oh, thanks. Oh, the double. The double. Nicely done, Magellan. Appreciate it. Looking for the over in the Jays-Sox game.
We're going to talk about it.
We are too.
At some point.
Yeah, so it's good to be here. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody. We appreciate it. Like the video. Take a minute to smash that thumb. It really means a lot to us. It's kind of a metric on how they measure how we're doing, so we'd appreciate any effort you could put forth as far as smashing that thumb. And, of course, don't forget to get subscribed to not just the Winners and Winers YouTube channel, but, Scott, they need to get subscribed to the Max Wagers Network YouTube channel, because what happens Monday?
We are fully switching over.
That's right. We're pulling the switch. We will be available live only on the Max Wagers Network, so you got to come over there and join us on regular time. Everything else is staying the same. Oh, and I'm going to be hosting Chris's show too. So you're going to get.
I'll be taking a nap.
A double header of me. So yeah, it's nice to be here indeed. I went 3-0 on the preems last night, and like I said, lost the play of the day. We won the farm, so that was a good thing. And Scott, now that we've got a few people gathered around, I want to make sure that we tell everybody about the cool promotion that we've got going with the good folks over there at DraftKings. They've got it just in time for the MLB season. $5 bet on any Major League Baseball money line. They will put $200 in free bets into your account. And, yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's got to be in a state where DraftKings is, obviously, Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Iowa, Indiana. Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, Wyoming, or West Virginia have to be 21 years of age or older, except in New Hampshire and Wyoming. First-time DraftKings Sportsbook customers only. And here's the important part. You got to use the promo code. That promo code is WAW Video, Winners and Winers Video. There's also a link in the description of the video as well as the promo code. Take advantage of that offer. And Scott, I know Caesars, they're doing a cool thing with Bet Insurance. Tell us all about that.
So if you enjoy getting a potential money-back guarantee, then, well, they got something for you. Because if you place a first-time wager up to $1,100 and it loses, you get it back in the form of a free bet. Now, you do have to use the promo code ATSWINSCZR, but it's better than betting $1,100, having an insurance policy on your $1,100 bet.
That's right. Depends on what you're playing. If you're playing my premium picks, you probably don't need it. If you're playing my plays of the day, yeah, you should definitely have bet insurance. No question about it. James Mounts in the house. Luke Baker, what's up, Luke? Says happy hump day. Happy hump day to you too, Luke. It is it's good to be here, man. And it was a little NBA action going on yesterday. Groovy Caps, by the way, says he believes in Carlos Rodon. He will be NL Pitcher of the Month after today's performance. Giants first 5 all the way.
I can't believe you're back in Rodon. He's only a really good pitcher, Way to go out on a limb there. No, but Groovy, I don't mind it either. The Mets have been playing well, so you have to look at the pitching matchup. I believe that total is actually a firm 6.5 right now with Bassett and with Rodon. You have any thoughts on that one? Because first 5 I can understand. I might just not mind a Mets team total under if you think that Rodon actually starts dealing again.
Yeah.
Because they've had 2 games. First game, Mets won an extra. Second game was 3-1. First of all, do you think the Giants should be favored on the road here? And second of all, do you trust the Mets offense to do enough to potentially get the job done against the Giants for the full game, let alone the first 5?
Yeah, that's it's definitely an inconsistent Mets offense, and that's the problem with early in the season when you've got 10 games or so under your belt, whatever, because you've got 2 games where they were back-to-back scored 19 runs, so that's really skewing their runs per game. But it's definitely not an offense that I'm ready to go to war with yet. And these guys, I'm more curious of whether you think Bassett will continue his good pitching, because we knew Rodon was very outstanding, but Bassett, bit of a surprise, Scott?
Not really. I think he was a surprise a couple of years ago, but the last 2 years or so, he seemed to find something. I think it was during the bubble year. In the second half, he was randomly extremely good, and I believe that carried over into last year. So no, I think Bassett might have just turned a corner. I think he's actually pretty good.
Well, I mean, I think he's gone for he's made one of the toughest jumps, and that's from like solid number 2 starter to an ace, at least at this point. We'll see.
I think you're even giving him too much credit to start. I think he went from like a 4 to a 2.
Okay, you don't think he's a 1 now?
No, I mean, on the Mets, he's basically a 3 or a 4. But of course,
I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about the Mets rotation. I'm talking about
on most teams. I'd say he's a 2.
Okay, well, I mean, he's had an outstanding season so far. If he keeps those numbers up, then yeah, I think he will absolutely be a 1, if not an ace. So, yeah, I the 6.5, man, it's tough to get around, but it's under a pass for me there.
Personally, I'm not sure why the Giants are favored. I get that Rodon might be a little bit better than Bassett, but the Mets have won the first 2 games of the series. The Mets are at home. Do you think the Giants should be like minus 125? Because I feel like it's Mets or pass, isn't it?
No, I'm fine with playing. I'm fine with playing the Giants in this spot. I think there's a belief in Rodon that they don't have in Bassett at this point, and I think you've got 2 offenses. Could you call them similar, Scott?
I think you can. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of, well, the Giants have kind of embraced the home run or bust mentality, which kind of carried them last year. Now, Rodon ended up going 7 innings last start. He only went 5 innings the first start. So I am curious how much length he's going to give, and maybe that's the argument, because if both starters go about 6, have fun with the Mets bullpen compared to the Giants bullpen, that might be the tiebreaker there.
Sure. Absolutely.
But I don't know. The Mets at home going for a sweep at plus money, I don't hate it. I think this line should be closer to minus 110.
Well, and let's be clear on Rodon's first start. He went 5 innings.
Struck out 12 guys.
He struck out 12 guys, right? That's what I was going to mention. So
I didn't mean he was bad.
Yeah, he didn't exactly struggle. He gave up 1 earned in 5 innings and struck out 12.
No, I was looking at pitch count, because the point is I was talking about length, not overall how he performed.
Well, anytime you see 12 strikeouts, you know there's going to be a pitch count. You know there's going to be some pitches thrown. So, Kyrie over 27, or is he celebrating 420?
It could be both.
Could be yes to both.
He's a Sage guy, so I don't know if that's the same family. If that's also celebrated on 420, I don't believe it is. I guess my question for you involving that Nets Celtics game, Kyrie did most of the heavy lifting offensively in game 1.
Yep.
And Durant was awful. So do you expect either Boston's defense to pivot more towards Kyrie, which I don't think is going to happen, or do you think Kyrie does less, but KD does significantly more, and they meet in the middle?
I think it probably tends towards the latter. I just think KD's too good to be just absolutely shut down like he was last time. Regardless of the defensive scheme that Toronto brings, I think they'll probably trot out the same theme. Although it's Nick Nurse, you never know. He could have a couple of tweaks. But personally, I think you take your chances with Kyrie and make sure you shut down KD as much as possible. I
feel like that's the approach too.
I think KD is the player that's going to absolutely beat you more. And don't get me wrong, Kyrie is very good and certainly capable of heating up. But as far as this one goes, are you worried? We talked about it, and we're going to be talking about it when baseball comes, because the Toronto Blue Jays are about to have a home series or a homestand of 10 games. But we talked about it a little bit before it started. Are you worried about who is and who is not available in Toronto that may be available in the States?
Well, we talked about that particularly in basketball, because I know that Tyball's not going to play tonight.
Right.
We haven't really talked about it much for baseball, and it's not going to matter immediately because Toronto, of course, is playing in Boston for the next couple of days. I am curious that's going to matter in baseball, and we mentioned it. I think it should. I mean, as a Yankees fan, Aaron Judge has never publicly announced if he was vaccinated or not, which makes me believe he might not be vaccinated.
Right.
But I think it's going to matter. I don't really know when Canada's officially going to stop or allow easier travel for unvaccinated players. We thought it might happen at some point in April. It doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. I'm assuming it'll be maybe May or June, maybe.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be...
There's no urgency.
At least from the stuff I was reading, there doesn't seem to be a real big appetite in Canada for rolling things back anytime soon. So it could go... Theoretically, it could go to the All-Star break.
Yeah, and that's why I like Toronto win total over for the baseball breakdown, was because they might be facing some weakened lineups or pitching staffs because some players might not be vaccinated. Now, I don't know if that's going to factor in for any other playoff series for the Raptors, because truth is, in order for the Nets to even face the Raptors at this point, it would basically take a miracle. So I'm not sure if that's going to matter. But do you think it does? I don't think Tyball's that meaningful. He only played 10 minutes or so in the first couple of games.
Yeah.
He helps the defense out.
Right.
But for a long-standing playoff run for the Raptors, which might seem extremely far away, let's just say I think it matters more for baseball than basketball right now.
Yeah, Tyball, like you said, he played 10 minutes in one, 12 in the other one, and he missed more on the defensive side. Yeah, I think it's going to matter. And again, it depends on who it is, obviously. But if you've got a pitcher whose spot is due in the rotation that's unvaccinated heading to Toronto, that could be a problem, because now you've got to move somebody up. You've got to make some adjustments with the bullpen. So yeah, I think it could be a bigger deal as far as the baseball season goes, and we'll see what happens as the series goes on. I guess everybody from the Sixers is vaccinated. Is that right?
Well, Tyball's not traveling, so
except for Tyball, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm assuming most players nowadays in the playoffs are vaccinated. Of course, Kyrie is not. But once again, if in order for Toronto to actually have an impact on Kyrie in the playoffs, you're going to need a miracle because that's probably not going to happen.
Right. I'd be more concerned about if anybody on the Heat wasn't vaccinated.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's find out what happened yesterday, bud. It was a certainly an interesting day. We had a little baseball, a little hockey, of course, the NBA playoffs. But there were some happy people. There were some sad people, Scott. There was winners. There was whiners. There was people that took it in the shorts, going to be honest with you. And then there were people that took it to the bank. So let's find out which camp everybody was in as we reveal the hump day version of Call the Cops. Very good. If you had the Hawks and the Heat, and you decided that you were going to play that one over, say, 219.5 to pull a random number out of the air, well, they had 15 points in the final 216. If you had the under 219.5 there, so close, yet so far away. That game landed 220. Scott, you lose by the hook.
And if you had a total in hockey, if you had the Flyers and the Maple Leafs under 6.5, you had 2 goals in the final 236, and the game landed 7.
All right, very good. And finally, if you had the Diamondbacks in game 1, first 5, plus a half, they led by 1, up 1-0 after entering the 5th inning. Nationals scored not 1, which would have been fine, but 2, with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. They lead Arizona 2-1 at the end of 5. Tear up that first 5. You were, again, so close, yet so far away. Call the Cops.
Yeah, it always feels like the starting pitchers collapse in the last inning that you can, well, get screwed in. Doesn't it always feel that way?
Yeah. And I got to be honest, I really liked those first 5s a lot more when the pitchers batted in the National League, because you often got to see the pitcher bat twice. If they got 3 guys on base, you would see the pitcher bat twice, and that was a good thing. So, anywho, there was some good news out there. There was some nice, easy wins. There was the people that spent their Tuesday night not sweating, not cursing, not throwing things at the TVs. Scott, they spent their night in the rocking chair.
So, for the first one, we're going to be looking at baseball. If you had the Rays and Cubs over 7.5, you had 7 runs in the first 4 innings, and the game landed 11.
Oh, very good. If you had the Timberwolves Grizzlies under 241, a play that you and I both endorsed, Scott, they had 109 points in the first half. That's pretty good. You're right where you want to be. Yeah, they had 111 in the second half. Congratulations. That one landed well under the total of 241. Nice, easy rocking chair win.
And the last one in hockey, if you had the Jets and the Rangers under 6, you had 1 goal in the first 2 periods combined, and the game landed 3.
Very good. Very good. Let's talk about this one a little bit, Scott. We haven't done one of these in a while. Let's have a little fun here. Let's point and laugh, shall we? We'll find out. The odds makers, they usually do a pretty good job. Every once in a while, they put up a number, and we're like, man, were you guys drunk? All right, Scott, I know we're big fans of player props around here, and there was a couple that were nice, easy cashes last night. Number 1, you're Steven Adams. Congratulations on totally calling how that one went down, as he played 3 minutes to start the game and played no more. A little tough to get your PRAs when you play 3 minutes, Scott.
A little bit.
So, what happened last night that made you think the odds makers were drunk?
So, in the late game between the Suns and the Pelicans, Devin Booker, of course, being Phoenix's probably best player at this point, no offense to Chris Paul, his point prop was set at 27.5. And he got injured in the second half, but that didn't matter for this player prop because he had 31 points at the half. So anytime you go over your point total with half the game to go, that's kind of a rocking chair.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And if Booker didn't get injured, he's probably going for 40.
Yep.
But yeah, he went over in the first half. I don't really have much more to add.
James S. says he's watching us on a 120-inch projector screen, and it's like you're right in front of me. That is way too much of us. 120 inches, I don't think anybody wants that. He also says he's high as a giraffe's ass.
That's high.
That's pretty high. I had a Nationals and under on both games. Under on the Diamondbacks, hit 9 out of the last 11. Very nice.
I remember I said I was kind of tempted by Arizona in Game 2 because I liked Gilbert more than Adon. Of course, they lost 1-0. You know, Gilbert did his part. They just couldn't score a run. So, yeah, happens.
Liking this Gilbert kid, huh?
I had the no-hitter last year, but compared to the rest of Arizona's staff, yeah, Cy Young.
Any thoughts on the Pelicans at 210, Scott?
I don't really know what to think of the overall series because Booker's supposed to miss games 3 and 4. According to initial reports, it's a mild hamstring injury, so he should be back by the end of the series. So he might be able to only miss like 1 or 2 games and then come back.
Right.
I don't know if I want plus 210, knowing that Booker is waiting in the wings. I think my approach for this series, if you like New Orleans, take Pelicans game 3 and game 4 separately.
Roll
it over, because if they lose game 3 or game 4, I'd be shocked if they won the series. I think they really need to go up 3-1. You?
Yeah, I mean, you're saying basically if they can get 2 at home when the Phoenix Suns don't have Booker, then
they need to take huge advantage.
Then
the
Suns have to win 3 straight. So even if Booker comes back, they can probably win 1 of 3. So I'm generally speaking more of a fan of rolling it over when it comes to taking plus 200 or so. It just makes more sense because you've got more information and you're still making the same money. If you do it that way. So, and you have the
I would jump on the Pelicans if Booker was out for the rest of the series.
Yeah.
But he's not.
It wouldn't be 210.
So,
as far as we know. Now,
as far as we know.
You don't know that, and you don't know how it's going to respond to treatment. So,
what we do know is he's out for the next 2 games.
Yep, we know that for sure.
So,
I
still think Phoenix is going to win the series, by the way, because they've been without Paul, they've been without Booker. They've been pretty solid, even missing guys throughout the season. I think they might find a way to win one of these next 2 games in New Orleans.
Yeah.
But if you want to take New Orleans to win the series, I would take it at a game-by-game basis.
Yeah, I think there's a very good chance that they can steal one without Booker.
Yeah.
I think this would be a lot bigger of a problem if it was old school where it was a 2-3-2 as opposed to a 2-2-1-1-1.
Well, round 1 was never 2-3-2, but
what's that? No, I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying.
They did the World Series, and the more traditional way to do.
They used to do a lot bigger deal if Zion was playing.
Well, that's
a whole separate can of worms.
That's certainly true. Somebody wanted to know what happened to Justin Steele yesterday, Scott. Were we perhaps a little early awarding him the Cy Young?
A little bit. Occasionally, you're going to struggle, I guess, but Cubs almost pulled it out anyway.
Yep.
But no, he was not very good. I'm going to be honest, he got shelled. I mean, there's really no way around it. Rays against the left-handed pitching, pretty good, I guess. So.
Yep. JR Black says there's no reason for Atlanta to take that 3-pointer. Killed the parlay. Yeah, we hit that on the call.
That was a crazy shot, though. Bogdanovich did like a spin move, gather, fatal. Like that was an impressive shot.
Well, I'm sure that makes him feel better.
I was making him feel worse because that shot was not.
I lost my parlay, but at least it was an impressive shot.
But I'm saying, like, they even tried to guard him. Like they didn't even give him a freebie.
Right. Yep. What's up, Jojo Rabbit? Good to see you in the house. Brewers are back to being crap.
They can't score.
1 run against the Pirates. Yeah, that's not a good look at all. And that's
how you know you're against the Pirates though, because they're still winning.
Well, and we talked about that in our preview when we broke down that division about how we had trepidation about the Brewers because they can't freaking score. And they've got the pitching.
Isn't like any other team in that division.
That's the thing. I mean, Cardinals are having a nice season so far. Do you think they're going to sustain it?
We'll wait and see. I know Flaherty's still waiting in the wings. He might come back in a couple of months. The Cardinals are a team that I was tempted by because it's the only other option you had to win the division.
Yep.
Because every other team's awful. But no, I thought it was going to be a dogfight where the first team to 86 wins the division. I still like Milwaukee's rotation a lot more, but the Cardinals have been okay to start. I'm not going to overreact to it, though. It's a long season.
What's been the biggest, what team's position right now has been the biggest surprise to you in baseball? We're about 10, 11 games in.
Well, if we're going by the immediate overreaction standpoint, it's Colorado.
Okay.
And the Rockies are 8-3. I like their win total over when we went through the NL West. I thought that they would be bad, just not Arizona bad. So I figured some team would have to win games there.
Right.
And Colorado randomly bought at the deadline, bought during free agency. They ended up getting Chris Bryant. They re-signed Freeland yesterday to like $60-something million, which I don't understand at all.
Unless that contract is for 60 million years, I
don't get it.
Overpaid.
Now you can make an argument with the salary cap today, $12 million.
Right.
Not a terrible deal.
Yep.
In the last 3 years, he has a 5.32 ERA.
Yep.
It is a bad deal. And are the I also don't get it because you ended up letting Story walk for free instead of trading him for anything.
Right.
Then you signed Bryant, and now you're signing Freeland. Are you tanking, or what are you doing?
After you got rid of Arenado the year before, after you had in a deal so bad you had to pay them money to take the best player in your roster off your hands.
And the Dodgers are going to be running that division for years and maybe decades, and the Padres have Tatis for the next generation and a half. Are you trying to compete? Are you what are you doing? Are you trying to finish like on a good year 81-81? I don't know what direction the Rockies are going in.
Well, that was the thing as Royals fans that we had to endure for 20 plus years before they finally got a little different direction. Is they would sign just enough free agents, make just enough moves to give them a shot at finishing 500.
You'd finish with 77 wins and go, why didn't we just tank for prospects?
Right, exactly right. And when they finally did that, they got a lot of those homegrown guys that came up. So, yeah, I agree. Pick a lane, Colorado. Can we talk about
Bronco? I know they can't pay Story $140 million. That's the point. The point is, if you knew you couldn't afford to pay him,
trade him at the deadline.
Then why didn't you trade him at the trade deadline?
Yep.
He was a ticking time bomb. I'm not saying they should have paid Story. I'm just saying if you're going to re-sign some players and then let others walk for free, pick a lane. Either you're trying to be competitive and you're going to pay players, or you're trying to tank. That's my main point. I know they can't pay Story. They should have traded him before he hit the market. That's just common sense.
Very good. Very good. Can we talk about being surprised by the A's yet?
We can have a discussion about it.
You and I were on them pretty hard to have a dreadful season, and so far, they've been okay. They're first place in the West, buddy.
Yeah, that's a pretty awful division, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It definitely is. But so far they haven't been part of the awfulness, and they've played what, Boston and Tampa, along with somebody else. Who else they played? They played Toronto.
They played the Phillies, Tampa, Toronto, that's right, and Baltimore.
That's right. They opened with the Phillies. I forgot about that. So,
on the bright side, though, they've yet to have a winning streak above like 6.5. So you still got that prop going for you.
I thought it was 5.5.
5.5, 6.5. They haven't done it yet.
No,
so you're still kicking.
Well, they've only won 7 games, so yeah, the odds.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Still kicking.
If you're under 5.5, you're still good. All right. So we do have a play from the baseball, but we have a lot of room as far as basketball goes. What are you on tonight, buddy?
Well, of course, the old trend from a couple years ago, before it became fully mainstream, was backing the team down 2-0,
right, to
do well in the first half and the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And usually you were getting the expected prices. A team that's +3 was +1.5 in the first first half, something like that.
Right.
Not anymore, because Toronto is +2 tonight against Philly, and they're -1 in the first half and -1 in the first quarter. So that whole value train is kind of sailed. I still like the angle for motivation, but just keep in mind it's nowhere near as profitable as it used to be, because the odds makers became so aware of it that at this point they might have overcorrected.
Yeah, it certainly sounds that way to me. Are you guys crazy enough to wager on Zurich golf tournament? Any thoughts?
Ooh,
you should be
love the Zurich golf tournament.
You should be less high. No, I don't know. I'm not against wagering on anything if I think I've got an angle or if I think I get a good prize. So
I'm not gonna wager on a tournament that involves groupings. If I'm betting golf, it's gonna be teams of 1. I don't need teams of 2. So no, I'm gonna pass on a tag team golf tournament personally.
So you're not crazy enough, is what you're saying?
I'm not. I might consider watching a piece of it, but for golf, I don't bet on partners. I'm not going to do that. Maybe in the Ryder Cup, maybe, but I don't know if there's any chemistry with any of these guys.
Right. That's the thing, and it sounds like twice as much work, because you're basically looking at what they've done as an individual, what each of them have done as an individual, and then what they've done on each course and all that stuff. So it sounds like a lot, Scott.
I don't know well with each other. There's a lot of variables that you have to add to your repertoire or to worry about, as opposed to the usual, singles golf tournaments. I'll pass. I'm rooting for you though.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We hope you have a tremendous advantage and make a shit ton of money. Wander Franco tonight, Scott?
I mean, he's one of my favorite players in the league. He was actually, we didn't talk about preseason betting odds for league leaders and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish we did. We didn't end up doing it.
Right.
My shorthanded pick to lead the league in hits was Wander Franco. So if you're mentioning Wander Franco hits over 1.5 in a game, I'm not going to tell you no, because I thought he'd lead the league in hits.
Okay. And who are they playing tonight?
What, the Cubs?
Yeah.
See, counting money, I don't know about that. You're saying you don't need chemistry, just put the ball in the hole. I don't know if I agree with that, because players have individual strengths. So are you trying to hit the best shot that you possibly can? Are you trying to put your partner in the best position to hit the following shot? There's a lot of strategy involved. I'm not going to get involved, I'm going to pass.
Is it best ball? What's the format like?
I have no idea. It could be best ball. Best ball, I'd feel better about it, but I don't know if they alternate.
Okay. All right. So does it give you pause at all that they're going up against Stroman? Wander Franco?
Truth is no.
Okay.
The thing is, it's plus money with Frank. I'm just such a big Wander Franco guy. And Stroman, I think, is a pretty good pitcher. I acknowledge that, but I mean, once again, you're talking about plus 185 or like plus 180. I'm not going to give you a hard time for trying to back a hits machine to get 2 hits.
Yeah, and then you get to go after the Cubs bullpen too.
Yeah.
So I'm all about that. Stroman had one good start, one bad start, and the bad.
And Franco also homered yesterday, so he's seeing the ball pretty well.
Yep, agreed. Brewers minus 1.5 on the run line.
They're playing right now.
Oh,
so is that a live line you're asking about, or because they're in the 7th inning right now?
What's the score? I don't have it.
1-0, but the Pirates have man on third, 1 out.
God, Brewers under. That's one of those things we talked about. I know we talked about that when we did our preview show.
When the season started, I said I'm all over unders
for
the most part, because I thought the baseballs would be juiced to make it entertaining. There's been less runs this year than last year.
It's also been cold. It's been cold nationwide, a little colder than it usually has been. A lot of games in the 40s or 50s, and that's going to keep your home runs down as well.
The Orioles unders have been money. The Yankees unders have been solid.
Yep.
No-run first innings have been very good, because naturally with the lower scoring games, the no-runs first innings have been good. Damn it, Alcantara. But still, because he screwed us that one time.
I know.
But still,
I know he did.
I know, but it's been profitable so far.
Having said that, I keep trying to get myself off of this Kansas City, Minnesota under with Paddock and Lynch going, or over rather. I got burned on the Twins yesterday. They left nine guys. They were 3 for 11 in runners in scoring position. 9 guys on base. They were just, and they pounded the shit out of Hernandez. Just couldn't. Everything they hit was square, and they just right at him. Everybody pulled it to the right fielder. It was just.
You think Hernandez makes it to June?
He can't have any more starts like he's had so far. He's had 2. The stat line didn't end up being awful. He gives up 3 earned in 4 1/3, which is obviously not ideal. But man, he can't get pounded like he did last night and last to June. No, he's gonna.
I don't think he's getting to June personally.
He
Hernandez really peaked in his first 3 starts last year, and then he hit a wall. And he keeps hitting the wall.
Yeah, he wasn't as bad as I thought at the end of last year because I actually ended up looking him up, and he was better than I thought. He
was just significantly better when he started.
Yeah, I kind of remembered him really falling off the cliff, and that really wasn't the case. He was middle 3s, he was fine. Yeah. But, man, he was so bad in spring and then so bad in his first start. And I took nothing positive away from that start last night. The only thing positive was for anybody that faded me because we should have absolutely got there on the team total. That was just it's a bad beat. It wasn't a brutal life-changing Hall of Fame beat, but we deserve better. Having said that, I think one of these teams gets 6 tonight, Scott. Paddock or Lynch, one of these guys is going to shit the bed, if not both.
They should. I mean, you're assuming if you want to go for props, I know you're the big Sal Perez home run guy. I don't mind that against Paddock.
No, he hit 2 last night. And it wasn't ideal weather. It was chilly. It was 50-55. Wind really didn't play a factor in it. So
but he's a tank.
He just ripped him, and Hunter Dozier sighting last night. So
he did something.
It was it's been a rarity ever since he signed his contract. So, yeah, Lynch. Both these guys have made 1 start. Lynch lasted 5 innings, gave up 6 earned. Paddock lasted 4 innings, gave up 3 earned, 6 hits. So
I remember when Paddock was the future ace on a pitch count.
Yeah,
what was that 5 years ago?
Good times. That's right. Mariners tonight against the Texas Longhorns. No, I like. We talked about it. I like this Gilbert kid.
It's profitable.
I don't know that they score enough to make me comfortable with the run line. I think I might just have to suck it up and lay the 1.5. Maybe.
I mean, I hope they can score enough because Toronto's given up at least 6 runs in each of the last 4 games.
It's about Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I said Toronto. I meant Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reason why we didn't like Texas. It's for the win total. When we went through their roster, of course, they paid a bunch for Seager and for Semien, but when your main acquisition in pitching is John Gray, you're shockingly going to give up a bunch of runs.
6.5.
They can't pitch.
6.5 runs per game over their last 10 games.
Yeah, they can't pitch.
That's fucking.
I mean, it's not a surprise to anyone.
No.
They're 2-8. They're bad.
So maybe throw in a little team total over 4.5.
Yeah, I don't mind it. They scored 6 yesterday. Now Dunning is a guy who, for some reason, I kind of like. I know his numbers don't look good at all.
Right.
But maybe it's just based on comparison, because I just mentioned how bad Texas' rotation is. I think there might be some untapped potential with Dunning, but Texas doesn't teach anybody how to pitch. So for me, I'm going to go with Seattle. Gilbert's good. It is a little bit annoying when Gilbert's laying a huge number as opposed to getting plus money, because that's Gilbert's claim to fame. But I do like the Mariners. I think they're the better team.
Okay. All right. Very good. Elliot V said, I smashed that like button like a lady of the evening. Very nice. Certainly draws a picture. So, yeah, I'm on Seattle there. Any iteration. You want to play first 5. You want to play team total over. I'd stay away from the run line just because they're the home team. So.
By the way, Daryl, I saw your parlay question. I didn't answer it because the Phillies game already started. So your parlay already can't happen. So, sorry. If you didn't realize, the Phillies are already playing.
Sorry. Sorry, Daryl.
Yeah, there's a lot more afternoon games in baseball than what I remember in previous years. So just keep that in mind moving forward. Make sure you know what the start time of your games are.
They changed the contract. I want to say 3 years ago.
I like it.
About how many hours you had to have between games, so you have a lot more afternoon getaway games. You have a lot more 1 o'clock games when they're playing the Thursday. So
I mean, I like it for other reasons. I mean, because realistically, baseball's viewership's been dead or been dying for a while because you're constantly competing with NBA, NHL, and these other sports that take place at 7 o'clock at night. So if you have an untapped market after college basketball season where there's no sports on besides soccer or tennis in the middle of the afternoon, throw some games on. Put them on TV.
There you go. Agreed. Elliot needs one more. He's got Seattle. He's got the Yanks. He wants to play a 3-teamer, Scott. Wants to get greedy. Got to have those 3 teams. You want to give him another one?
I mean, we have something saved for later, but I don't know if you want to use it now.
No, I don't.
Okay.
We do have one more. We do have one more baseball play for you, Elliot. So
you know what? I'm gonna trust the kid. Give me the Padres.
Okay.
Give me Mackenzie Gore. I'm gonna trust the kid, mostly because I think Cincinnati sucks.
Well, that's hard to go wrong fading Cincinnati right now. You surprised
I hated that team in the offseason.
You surprised they were that bad? No, that isn't.
I had their win total under. Yeah. They traded their entire team. And Votto had an MVP quality year last year that I don't think he can sustain.
Did nothing with it.
That was one of the most ridiculous Renaissance years in a while.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely right. I don't hate the Dodgers tonight either. Talked about that on the Alley show.
Against who?
Gonsolin against Charlie Morton, who's been
because they're already playing
bad so far. Oh, that was a 3. You're right. That was a 3-10.
That's what I'm saying. Once again, remember your start times.
Yep. How they doing? They doing all right?
They're up 2-0.
Cool. Yeah, I like them even more now. All right. Anything else?
Not really. I don't know if you want to go through any of the other basketball games. I know you have a play of the day on the Bucks game.
Yeah.
I like the Bulls team total under.
Okay.
At 107.5.
Okay.
Milwaukee's defense in the playoffs buckles down in Chicago offensively. I know that DeRozan was awful shooting, but Levine was getting some knee treatment in the middle of the game 1. He's had knee issues for months. Right. He'll probably have surgery during the offseason. But the point is that even if DeRozan plays well, the supporting cast really didn't do much for Chicago either. And Vucevic was actually decent. I have questions if Chicago is going to score more than 105 in this game. I'll take the team total under.
I don't hate that. It's going to be my play of the day was the under in this game. As far as the side goes, it's got to be Milwaukee or pass. I just don't love laying 10 in a playoff game. So I like your team total under. I think that's solid as well. Philadelphia, Toronto. I'm on Toronto there. I like the fact they're coming back home to a packed house. I
really want Barnes to play though. That's why I've been stalling.
Yeah, that's the killer with Scotty Barnes being downgraded to doubtful. I know you're still holding hope against hope. I don't.
I'm hoping they're desperate enough to throw him out there.
It doesn't seem like he's trending in the right direction. I still think they can get it done, but they're going to have to find somebody to stop Maxey.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Brooklyn, Boston goes, Scott, Boston was on the verge of running them out. Brooklyn made a nice comeback, couldn't finish. Where's this one head?
I can't say it's a game that the Nets need to have, but it feels like a game the Nets need to have, you know. I think game 1 was definitely their chance where they just had it and they let it go. But the Nets definitely gave Boston problems in the second half. Now, Boston held on, took a bit of a comeback at the end, but defensively, it kind of ties into my play of the day. The Nets defensively were great with Claxton on the court. So if Drummond plays less, because he got torched, and the Nets can give Claxton 35 minutes in this matchup, I do think the Nets can hang around and win because it seemed like Claxton really did a great job guarding Tatum in the fourth quarter.
Yep, I think this is at worst a toss up, and again, give me the points in a 50-50. I think this is you could make the right play, you could be all over it. Nets could be down 1 with 12 seconds left, and you get run out with scramble or whatever. So
the Nets should hang around.
Yes, that's exactly the point I'm trying to make. I think this is going to be a close. It's going to set up like a 1-score game. It's going to be a 1-score game inside of a minute. How about that?
That's what I would think too.
Okay. All right, buddy. Well, let's do it. Let's find out what we got cooking today. It's 4:20. Put on your psychedelic overalls. You got some psychedelic overalls, Scott? A little tie-dye maybe for 4:20?
I got nothing.
Okay, excellent.
I got to call Bill Walton for a tie-dye shirt.
All right, very good. Well, put those on, strap them up tight, get your straw hat out, and put it on your head. Put your brim at a rakish Reichel angle. See if you can rock that straw hat like Reichel does. Climb aboard your John Deere, get your keys out, put them in the ignition, and fire that bad boy up because, kids, once again, it is time to bet the farm. All right, very good. Look at this. Just like it worked in
Rehearsal?
in practice, Scott. That's why we get together and rehearse. So I know we had a farm play yesterday. How'd that end up going, my friend?
We had the Heat to cover the spread in Game 2 against the Hawks. It wasn't easy, but they got there.
Cue the banjos! Yeehaw! All right, very good. Well, let's see what we've got cooked up for today, shall we? We're going to go back to the baseball diamonds in a game that a couple people were asking about, Scott. We're going to be taking a look at the Toronto Blue Jays at the Boston Red Sox, looking at the total of 9, and we're going to play the over, my friend. That's available -110 at DraftKings. Jose Barrios starting for Toronto. He has not been good this season, Scott. 5 1/3 innings total. Just hasn't been able to really get out of the fourth in any one of his starts. 7 earned runs, not ideal. Nick Pivetta going for the Red Hose. He's made 2 starts this season. Also not very good. 7 2/3 innings, 8 earned runs. And, of course, Pivetta, it's not really a surprise because he has been dreadful at Fenway this year. A bad performance would not surprise anyone. He's been 5.49 ERA in his career at Fenway Park. And finally, the over, 21-7-2 in Boston's last 30 home games. I believe that's going to be about 66.666%. That's pretty darn good, Scott. No, that's better than that. 75%. So, yeah. Very good, guys. So that's a trend. We like it. We like anytime we can get 9 at Fenway Park, we're going to have to take a long look at it. And with 2 pitchers, one of them, I think one of these teams puts up 6+, Scott. And I think that should get us home.
Well, Pivetta, we know, has also been victimized by the home run ball, which is something that Toronto excels in.
Yep.
So it wouldn't surprise me if Vlad Jr. or any of these guys hit a couple over the monster. And as for Barrios, they paid him a bunch of money, and he hasn't lived up to it yet. I'll dare him to actually, earn that contract because Boston, they have not been great offensively this season. They've been okay, but they still have a lot of talent, and I do believe that Barrios will struggle more than people might think.
Agreed. All right, there you go, guys. That's going to do it for the farm, and that's going to do it for the show for this Wednesday, 4/20. We hope everybody out there does nothing but win tonight. We appreciate you guys stopping by. If you're celebrating 4/20, please do it in a responsible manner. Of course, only in states where it's legal. Designated driver, all that good stuff. We want to see everybody back here tomorrow, all right? So good luck on all your plays. One more time, thanks for being here today. We've had a good time. Hope you guys come back and see us tomorrow. Same time, same channel, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Scott and I will do our best to help you guys in that never-ending journey to head back to the window. Take care, everybody.